Good day, everyone. Um, Today, we are going to start a SQL, a structured query language. So, at the beginning of the program, so I explained that you can get your data from different sources. So you can get your data maybe by downloading the data set online from a public data repository, maybe kaggle.com or data.gov or IEEE or Statista. So we have a different public data repository that you can download public data. So, but if you are working with an organization, so you will need to interact with the database, the organization database. So to do that, you will need knowledge of SQL, structured query language, to extract data from their database. So it is always called SQL. So SQL means structured query language. So it's a computer language that we use to interact with the relational database. So SQL is a tool for organizing, managing, and retrieving archived in a computer database. Okay, now so we use it to retrieve archived data from a computer database. So the original name was given by IBM as Structured English Query Language, abbreviated by the acronym SQL. So, and later changed to this SQL, but the name still remains SQL. Okay, so SQL is used to make the request from the database. So you need to understand different languages, different commands that we use in SQL. So first of all, before we move to a database, because as I said that SQL is used to interact with relational database. So we have two types of database. We have structured database and unstructured database. But we normally use SQL with a structured database. Okay, so this is the all these are the uses of SQL: data definition, data retrieval, data manipulation, access control, and data sharing. So these are uses. With these uses, so we can categorize different SQL commands based on these uses. So we have different commands under SQL. Let's check this. Okay. Aha. So this is all these are the commands in SQL. So number one, we have what we call DDL. So DDL means data definition language. So number two is DML, data manipulation language. Three is DCL, which is data control language. Fourth one is TCL, transaction control language, while the last one is DQL, which is data query language. So all the commands that you are going to use in SQL, so the one more than this. So all the commands they are this. All the commands you are going to use. So they categorize them in what? In 5 categories. So number one is what? DDL. So under DDL, we have a create. So we have different SQL commands. So they are DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, DQL. So for DDL, which is what? Which is a data definition language. So we use it to interact with database and table. So we use DDL, data definition, to define database schema and what in DBMS. So, and all the commands under DDL, they are create, drop, alter, and what, and truncate. So first one, which is create. So we use create to create a new database. So if I want to have a new database, so I'm going to explain what is a database and what is table and all other concepts under database. So, but I'm just want to explain all the commands we have under SQL. So first one, which is create. So create is used to create either a database or what, or table. So if I want to have a new database or new table, so we use what? We use a create command. So create command is a SQL command. So number two, drop. So drop is used to delete a database or a table. So if I want to use SQL command to delete a database or a table, so we use a drop command. Number three, alter. So alter is used to change the structure of a database or structure of a table. So we use alter to change the structure of a database. So if you have a database, so you can use alter to change its structure or to alter a table. So number four is truncate. So truncate is used to empty a table. So if you have a record in it, if you have a lot of records in a table, so you can use a truncate command to clear all the records in a table. So it is different from delete command. So truncate is used to empty the data, to empty the table. Okay. Drop is used to delete the table permanently. But if you use truncate, so you still have the table, but it's going to be empty. So there won't be any record in that table again. So if it is drop, it means I want to delete that table permanently. So you don't want it to exist again. So that is drop. But for truncate, you want to clear all the records in that table. You don't want any records in that table. So you want that table to be a fresh table, so that you now enter new records to that table. So that is what we use truncate for. So that is that all about DDL. So second one is DML, the data manipulation language. So it is used to manipulate data present in the DB. So if we say to manipulate data present in the DB, not directly that you will manipulate data in that database. So you must have a set of tables in your database, because database cannot hold records. So database will hold the table, and the table will now hold records. So now we use DML with tables. So we use insert to insert record to a table. Okay. So update is used to update a table, to update records in the table. Okay. While delete is used to delete records in the table. Okay, so that is why we call it data manipulation. So because when you insert a record at a table, so it's going to change the information in that table. Okay, so you can also update that particular record, or you delete it. So next one is, you have a question. Yes. Delete, you can use delete to delete the record one by one. Are you getting it? So, but for truncate, so truncate we delete everything at once. Are you getting it? But for delete, if you have like 10 records in a table, so you can delete them one by one. Okay, maybe you don't want a particular row in a table, so you can use a delete to delete that row. But for truncate, it means you want to clear all the rows in that table. You get that? So that is different between truncate and delete. So you know the difference between truncate and drop. So drop is to delete that table permanently. Okay. But for truncate, to clear the records in that table, all the records. So but for delete, is used to delete records one by one. Although you can use delete to delete all the records. Yes, you specify the rows. So that means if you want to delete all the rows, you specify all the rows. But if you want to specify a particular row, you want to specify a specific row, so you can specify it, you are using delete. But for truncate, so you cannot specify a specific row. So those are the differences. Now, third one is DCL. So DCL deals with access rights and data control on the data present in the DB. So we use DCL to control the access, user access in the database. Okay, so you can use grant to grant a user as admin in the database. Okay, you can also use revoke to remove that grant. Okay, to remove that access. Okay, maybe you have granted a user as an admin, so you can revoke the action. Okay, that is to go back to original position. So that is revoke. So next one is TCL, so which is transaction control language. So it deals with the transaction happening in the database. So we use TCL for transaction control. Okay, so if I want to delete a particular table, okay, so we use commit to uh, to to make that execution to happen. Okay, so that is commit. Okay, rollback to undo our action. That is a rollback. So maybe you deleted some tables, so you can use rollback to go back undo your transaction, or you deleted some records. So last one is DQL. DQL. So this DQL is used to query our database. Okay, so DQL is used to query our database, and the only command we have under DQL is select. So select button. So that is what that is the DQL command. So as a data analyst, the command that you are going to interact with most is a select command, because we use select to extract data from a table. Okay, so when you